This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome back to the show. Today on the Ann Harder Show, we are going to be honored to welcome a true Texas law enforcement legend, former Texas Ranger captain and longtime investigator, Matt Cawthon. And it is great to have you here. So I've been wanting to get you to come and visit with me for a while now. We've been talking about it.
Thank you, Ann. It's good to be here with what I call Waco royalty right here.
I don't know about that. You're very kind. You were born in Belton, raised right here in Central Texas, and decided to devote decades of your life to protecting Texans through service with the Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Highway Patrol, Criminal Intelligence Division, and the legendary Texas Rangers.
That's right.
So you served with the Rangers from 92 to 2009?
I did.
Correct.
17 years.
Yeah. And so a remarkable career. Received some of the highest honors, in fact, in law enforcement, including the National Police Officer of the Year Award from the U.S. Department of Justice for helping investigate a major child porn ring.
Yes.
As well as Regional Commander's Award for assisting a wounded Killeen police officer.
Yes.
So, but I know you've got lots and lots of stories.
I do.
In your law enforcement career. So you've been serving the public, in the community through these leadership roles. Now you're stepping into a brand new role, and that's as a podcaster with the Cinco Peso podcast right here at Rogue Media.
What was I thinking, right?
What were you thinking? Well, that's exciting, and I want to hear. About the stories you want to help tell through your podcast as well. But an extraordinary career.
Well, thank you, Ann. I'm very proud to be here today and very willing to tell you anything you want to hear. We can tell old war stories, or we can talk about the future, whatever you want to talk about. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm thinking, did I meet you through the Branch Davidian stuff?
No, that was
not
not me.
Okay.
I arrived in Waco the summer after that occurred.
Okay. So you missed all the fun.
I missed it all. Thank goodness.
Wow. Yeah.
That was the city of Waco was still wounded. The wound was raw back when I got here.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I was stationed in the Rio Grande Valley when it happened, and myself and I was in Harlingen, and there was a ranger in McAllen. They chose him. He'd been on a lot longer than I had, and he got chosen to come up here. And I thought, man, I wish I could go. I wanted to go. Of course, I was looking at television when it happened, and thinking I'd get the call, but I didn't. And when it was all said and done, I was so thankful I didn't. That was such a mess out there.
It was. Well, it was.
The Rangers were tasked with doing the investigation of the murder of the 4 federal agents.
Right.
Which is not an investigation of the Branch Davidians. It was just an investigation of what happened on that April day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, at the time, probably one of the biggest crime scenes the country had ever seen, because it was just terrible.
Yeah, one of those things everyone was having a hard time wrapping their heads around what they had seen. And then we had 51 days of a standoff and jillions of media it was a real surreal kind of period of time.
Yeah.
In Waco history. But you were born in Belton, so it's like you built your career here in Texas.
Yes.
And so growing up, did you know you always wanted to be in law enforcement?
I did. I grew up wanting to be in the Highway Patrol.
Okay, really?
And
I have to ask you, do you know Bill Maley?
I do. I do know Bill.
Yeah, he's a gem.
He was my boss for
was he really?
a while. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And but I wanted to be in the highway patrol. But it didn't take long of me being in the highway patrol. I was in there for about 7 years, and I realized that that in the big scheme of things, the job that I wanted to be was a Texas Ranger. So as soon as I was eligible, you have to have 8 years experience. As soon as I was eligible, I started taking the test, and it took me one try, and then on the next try I made it.
Good.
And it's been an amazing ride ever since. And we that are retired, we're not just we continue to be Texas Rangers.
Yes.
We have
Kind of like you're not a former Aggie.
You're not a former Marine either. You know,
Right,
you're
or
always,
a former Marine.
your your commission is as I read it, in perpetuity.
Really?
Unless something goes wrong and you do something that you shouldn't do.
Oh, that's interesting. So what was it that drew you to the Department of Public Safety? Was because you eventually you have to go through that route to become a Texas Ranger?
Well, like I said, I wanted to be in the highway patrol, and I got there and was proud to be in the highway patrol. But after a little while, I started wanting more. I wanted to do, investigations, crime scenes. I wanted to do, which is really not the everyday job of a highway patrolman.
Right.
Their job is traffic law enforcement.
Sure.
And, anti-smuggling and stuff like that. I wanted to be able to take a case and take it apart and put it back together. And so that's why I became a Texas Ranger.
And then have it present so that somebody goes to jail.
It's the whole package.
Yeah.
Yes. The job of a ranger is to investigate crimes and arrest criminals. So,
what did those early years teach you with the highway patrol?
Well, it's trial by fire.
Is it?
Yeah, they send you to an 18-week academy, but it doesn't really teach you what it's like to be out there working every day. You work days, you work nights, you have the high-speed chases, you have the dangerous encounters with criminals. But like I said earlier, I just wanted more than that. And I'll tell you this, I came up in the highway patrol in the days of the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Oh, yes.
And you remember that?
Oh, yes.
And so interstate highways, 55 miles an hour. And I was, at some point I thought, man, I just don't know. I think I want to do more than traffic law enforcement.
Yeah. Pulling people over.
Yeah.
Well, and but it's dangerous work.
I tell people
Especially
it's the
on
most
the highway,
dangerous. Yeah, because when you pull someone over, you don't know what is going on in their minds.
Right. Or now the person that's on their phone while they're driving 80 miles an hour,
And it happens every day.
Not paying attention to what they're doing.
Cringe.
Yeah. So becoming a Texas Ranger is a dream, I guess, for many officers. So what did it mean to you when you achieved that? You passed that test?
It was an amazing time in my life. I felt like I had achieved so much.
Yeah.
But then the reality hits you. The reality is you've become one. Now you've got to be one. And so that's when I realized that now we got to go to work and we got to make a hand at this. And I wanted the big cases. I was first stationed in Harlingen, and that was a nice place. I could have been there a long time. But
South Texas is beautiful.
But I knew that major crime in Texas revolves around I-35. It's a major north-south corridor, goes all the way to Chicago. And in this area, this central Texas area, it's always been kind of a magnet for some very unusual and sensational crimes, if you think about it. From serial killers to mass killings to there's always been something along that I-35 corridor, and it was close to my home, so I chose to come back to Waco.
Yeah. The Texas Ranger Museum and Hall of Fame and Museum is really a gem here in Central Texas, and I had the opportunity when I was with Channel 25 to go there periodically to do some recording for Texas Trivia, a little thing we did on
Sure,
the news.
I remember
That
that.
was so much fun. It was so much fun because I got to really spend time in the museum and learn more about this historic law enforcement organization.
It is an amazing organization. There is no other like it in the country.
Right.
The Texas Rangers began in 1823. Before Texas was Texas, it was Mexico. It was the northern province of Mexico. And the settlers came in under Stephen F. Austin, and they wanted to colonize and put together a force to protect the colonists. The Mexican government allowed that because they did not have enough troops to send this far north to protect anyone. So 10 men volunteered to do what they called ranging, and the term ranger came from that.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've been around in some form for over 200 years now.
Yeah, so what is the expression "one riot, one ranger"
Well,
mean to you?
the fun part about being a ranger is all of the
All the great
accolades
stories.
and the great stories, and that story supposedly came from an old ranger who was summoned to an East Texas, probably an oil boom town, who they had a troubles. And they called for the Rangers. The Rangers back then would arrive by train. And the Ranger stepped off the train, and the mayor of the city said, "Where's all your Rangers?" He says, "Well, you've only got one riot. You only need one Ranger." Now, whether that's true, Ann.
Yeah, no, that's the story I always.
And you know how
I always heard.
Texans would never exaggerate.
Never embellish
No,
anything
no.
when it comes to a legendary story about the state. That is true. You named your podcast, so Cinco Peso podcast, and that has to do with the Ranger badge, right?
The Ranger badge. It's always been made. And let me preface this. In the early days, the Rangers probably didn't even have badges. But when they decided they wanted a badge, someone decided that we would make one out of a Cinco Peso, which is a silver Mexican coin. And the badges of the Texas Rangers are still made from a Cinco Peso, a silver coin. And they have a large collection of them in Austin because those coins, the silver coins, have not been made since 1948. So we have a cache of silver coins, and I hope we never run out of badges for our Rangers.
At the ready. So how big is the Texas Ranger force? I know the headquarters are here in Waco, right?
Well, the headquarters of Company F.
Company F,
there
right.
are five. There are
Correct.
6 companies, A through F, and at full strength right now we're about 175, but maybe soon to grow up to close to 200. When I was in the Rangers, there were 103. And as you know, Ann, there's 254 counties in Texas. So
That's a lot.
So we're always going to be spread pretty thin. When I was a ranger here, I covered this county. I covered Falls, Hill County, Bosque County, and I guess that's it. But every ranger, the crimes don't stay right where they are living or stationed.
Right.
These cases take you far and wide. I've been as far as Honduras
Have you really?
to work a case right out of this county. It was the murder for hire of a young man here in Waco named Gary Patterson.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we found his body and buried in the desert of El Paso. But before that happened, I had to go to Honduras to find an accomplice and get a confession from him.
And you did.
And I did.
What is that feeling like when you we did it?
Well, I'll tell you this, Ann, and I'll say this with all humility. We don't do it by ourselves.
Right.
We work as a team with others, and law enforcement always works. They do their best work when they work together. It doesn't always happen that way. I'm going to tell you, this is a job full of big egos. And you don't know anything about that being in the in broadcasting.
The broadcast business.
But it can be that way in law enforcement, and you learn to work around it and work within those guidelines. And anytime that the Rangers are successful, it's not just the Ranger. The Rangers typically like to work with a local agency, get the job done, and then leave, and let the local law enforcement or politicians give the press conferences. Unlike other agencies that like to stand in front of the cameras,
Right.
The Rangers typically move on, and because our jobs don't depend on elections, our jobs don't depend on appointments.
Right.
We do our job because, and we're shielded from all that to a big extent, and so we like for the local folks to handle that sort of thing.
A lot more I want to talk to you about, Matt Cawthon, as we delve a little deeper into your podcast, the Cinco Peso podcast, and just your career and some of the big cases that come to your mind. I want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by Alan Samuels, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram. They are your friend in the car business. There's more of the show ahead. Stay with us.
It's the 2026 Heart of Texas Builders Association Parade of Homes, brought to you by the First National Bank of Central Texas. Tour a variety of homes at different price points, plus see the latest trends from beautiful kitchens to outdoor living spaces. See the latest colors and design patterns. This is your chance to walk through homes, meet the builders, and get inspiration for your own projects. The Heart of Texas Builders Association Parade of Homes, June 5th, 6th, and 7th, and June 13th and 14th. Tickets are available online or at any parade home. For more,
we're celebrating the Declaration of Deals at Alan Samuels in Waco. Right now, get $13,000 off a new Ram 1500 Lone Star, plus 2.9% for 72 months. Cash in on $13,000 off a new Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cab, or choose 0% for 36 months, plus no payments for 90 days. Feel secure with America's best full-size truck powertrain 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty at Alan Samuels.
Come by, let's be friends.
What is
When the sun goes down on my side of town, that lonesome feeling comes to my door, and the whole world turns blue. There's a rundown bar across the railroad tracks. I got a table for two way in the back where I sit alone. Think of losing you. I spend most every night beneath the light of a neon moon. Now if you lose your one and only, there's always room here for the lonely to watch your broken dreams dance in and out of the beams of a neon moon. I think of two young lovers running wild and free. I close my eyes and sometimes see you in the shadows of the smoke-filled room. No telling how many tears I've sat here and cried, or how many lies that I've lied, telling my poor heart he'll come back someday. Oh, but I'll be alright as long as there's light from a neon moon. Now if you lose your one and only, there's always room here for the lonely to watch your broken dreams dance in and out of the beams of a neon moon. The jukebox plays on drink by drink. And the words to every sad song seem to say what I think. And this pain inside of me, it ain't never gonna end. Oh, but I'll be alright as long as there's light from a neon moon. Now if you lose your one and only, there's always room here for the lonely to watch your broken dreams dance in and out of the beams of a neon moon. Watch your broken dreams dance in and out of the beams of a neon moon.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Providence. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
If I had somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Alan Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
And we're here with Matt Cawthon, who is a retired Texas Ranger, among other departments that he worked for in law enforcement. But you received the National Police Officer of the Year award for helping investigate a child porn ring. So without getting into anything inappropriate, what can you share about that investigation?
That investigation revolved around the murder of a boy outside of Wilson Hill County in Aquila.
Mm-hmm.
I was called.
Not much happens bad in Aquila.
You wouldn't think so, but
No.
let me
Okay.
open your eyes a little bit. There was a fire, an arson fire, and I got called up there for that because the firefighters found a body.
Oh.
And this was at a trailer, a single wide mobile home,
Mm-hmm.
and it had it had burglar bars on it, and as this arson investigation proceeded, they started seeing a lot of inappropriate materials in the ashes, and there was a young man that was detained, a 19-year-old young man who was detained at the scene, and he confessed to locking the door and setting the fire. But that was just the tip of that iceberg. What was happening was there were a group of pedophiles working in that town, and they were using this mobile home as kind of a hangout for young men, young boys. And they had everything a young boy might want, like video games, and they got them into drinking beer. Mm-hmm. And it was just kind of a sad situation. But to make it even more sinister, these men were getting these boys drunk and then performing sexual acts and videotaping them. Now, this was long before there was an internet. And so what these men were doing is they were taking these videos and then they were selling them via the U.S. mail. And that brought in the United States postal inspectors to our investigation. And it turned out that a lot of these Aquila men weren't local people from Aquila, they were from Belmead. So that brought in the Belmead Police Department, and you know Tom Noble over there. I worked with him a lot. And so the postal inspector, Bob Adams, and Tom and I worked this case, and because of it had international implications. These tapes were going down into the Bahamas and being distributed all over the world. We were honored with an award from U.S. Congress and the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which do great work. And so we got to go to Washington, D.C. and receive our awards. It's very nice.
Oh, that's well deserved. I mean, you don't a lot of times day in and day out, you don't feel like the work you're doing is being recognized or even respected or appreciated.
And the amazing part about this, and I'm learning this from my own podcast, is that all of these officers, whether it's a Texas Ranger or a Waco detective or a postal inspector, they all have these amazing stories that you and I, never hear about. And I think it's important that you and I, that we let the people who pay their salaries know what a good job they're doing for us, because that's the only accolade they're ever going to get.
Well, the aforementioned Bill Maley, was able to talk to him about how he was on the detail at the Dallas Trade Mart the day President Kennedy was shot. And he was there when the car with the wounded president arrived at the hospital.
Right.
And the stories he told, and then went on because he was there at the hospital. He just stayed because Governor Conley was so gravely wounded, and proceeded to tell me, he says, I was fired twice by the governor because he wouldn't go get him cigarettes. He said, sir, you have a chest wound. I think that's probably a good idea. But he went on to talk about how Nellie Connolly was so kind to the officers who were there standing guard, because they were standing the whole time, and made sure there was a place for them to go lie down and rest, and and brought food in. He said she took as good a care of us as she did her husband. When would you ever hear that story? I mean,
these stories are amazing out there.
And he's got a million of them, so I'm sure you're going to have him on.
I don't know.
You definitely need to. Anyway, you received a Regional Commander's Award for assisting a wounded Killeen police officer. Let's talk about that situation. What happened?
Well, sometimes tragic situations come out of things that are kind of humorous at times. I was in Killeen, and I was in the highway patrol, and I was at a red light at night, and I could see a car coming up behind me that was not slowing down. And I didn't know if this car was going to hit me or not. And I accelerated as quickly as I could. And the car just barely touched my bumper, just enough to knock the dust off of it, right?
Really?
But as with any traffic accident, you want to stop and get out and look at the damage. And as I'm stopped and I'm looking at the damage, I hear gunfire. And so I jumped in my car and I drive to the sound of the gunfire. And a Killeen police officer had been shot and was lying wounded in the backyard of a house. Oh. He had confronted someone who had shot him, and I remember, again, I ran into this house where this incident had occurred, and there were a couple of ambulance attendees there. They were working on someone. And I had a shotgun with me, and I looked at them, and I said, what happened? Where's the shots coming from? They said, it came from the backyard. They said, but don't you leave us here, because we don't know where the bad guy is. Oh. And I said, you know how to operate a shotgun? And one of the guys said, I do. I said, here's my shotgun. Do not shoot any police officers with it. And so I ran around the front, so I didn't want to come out the back of the house where the gunman might be waiting. and I scaled a wooden fence and came in from that direction. And I remember having to tell the wounded officer, because he was wanting to shoot me too, because he didn't know who I was.
Who you were. Yeah.
I had to identify myself and then get him to safety.
Oh, my goodness. And he survived.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah. I mean, the stories that you have, are there any, others that just kind of have stayed with you over the years?
Yes. I was in the office one day, and there was a bank robbery downtown here in Waco.
Here in Waco, yeah.
Right here in Waco.
Okay.
And so I was told about the bank robbery. Me and myself and another ranger get in the car, and we drive downtown thinking, well, maybe we'll see something. Well, the description of the getaway vehicle came right in front of us. So we fell in behind it and we followed it, and all the time giving radio communications.
Yeah.
And so I'm following it out across the Franklin Street Bridge. It takes a right, goes to the interstate, goes north on the interstate, and it's just us following this guy. And of course, we drive plain cars, but I guess there's no doubt who we are.
Yeah.
And
he knew somebody was tailing him.
He raises a pistol up like this, like, I'm going to shoot you. Oh. And so that changes things a lot.
Yeah.
And so we're following it, and now I'm getting a lot of police coming to join us, every agency you can think of, and he ends up taking the exit from Elmont, and there were so many police cars around that they boxed him in, and he ended up his driver door ended up with the passenger side door of a highway patrol car, and he was stopped, couldn't go anywhere. We had him blocked in. And it just so happened that when I got there, kind of the sea of police cars kind of opened up, and I was able to get right up to him. And I ran up to the car just in time to see him raise a pistol and going to shoot the passenger side of the highway patrol car. And of course, you can imagine, couldn't let that happen.
No.
So that young man lost his life that day.
Yeah. Suicide by cop, I guess.
That's what we felt like that.
Yeah.
Very well could have been.
Yeah. But it was when we were in the newsroom and we'd hear officer involved shooting. It was always, oh gosh, what has happened?
You never know.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the thing about the work. You put on the uniform, kiss the spouse goodbye, and Lord willing, you come back home.
That's right.
But that's never a guarantee in this line of work. And that's why I do not understand folks who denigrate the police and law enforcement.
To do this kind of job, and like many other jobs, you have to have a servant's heart.
Yeah.
You want to serve others. And you some people do it by being a fireman, some a policeman, some might be a delivery person. There is something to be said about that servant's heart mentality, and that's what I think policemen have.
Oh, I agree. So you served in a lot of leadership roles in the TDCJ and McLennan County Sheriff's Office.
I did.
So what motivated you to keep serving, if you will?
Well, at some point there comes a time when it's time to retire from one agency, and then you might be contacted by another agency to come work for them, and it sounds attractive and another way financially to maybe get ahead.
Yeah, if you're not ready to hang it up,
That's right. And so my first job was with the Department of Criminal Justice, but they wanted me to serve on a United States Marshals Fugitive Task Force. And I did, the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force here in Waco.
Right.
I served for 3 years. And everybody in this business kind of gravitates to what they like. And I really liked looking for fugitives, the hunting, and finding and the arresting. And I used to tell people it's the best job in law enforcement because there's no evidence to collect. There's never a trial because we're just catching them. There's never any paperwork to speak of. And when you catch one, you just put them in jail, go hunt for another one. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I was the oldest guy on the squad, so it was fun being around a bunch of young men.
Oh, and I know they learned a lot from you.
It was fun.
As well. Cold cases, I mean, really kind of the same thing in a way? Or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. My last year of work with the Texas Rangers, I was excuse me, I was exclusively working cold cases.
Mhm.
And there was a case that had recently gone cold of the murder of the dog catcher in Belmead. Do you remember that case?
Yes. Yeah.
It had been worked and had gone cold, and I was able to develop a source that was able to get in with that group of people.
Mhm.
And that was such a tragic case because he wore a policeman's uniform, kind of a pseudo uniform,
Mm-hmm.
but he was not a policeman.
Right.
But he was at the local dog pound, and which was actually the concession stand of an abandoned baseball field. That's what they kept their dogs in. Excuse me, I'm talking too much. And there were some fellows back there looking for anhydrous ammonia that they someone had secreted out there for them, and so they could go make more methamphetamine.
I was going to say that's an ingredient for meth.
That's right, and
Yeah.
and they believed him to be a police officer, and they decided they would kill him, and they did.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of a mistaken identity, I guess.
It was. It was
Sort
just
of in a
wrong
way.
place at the wrong
Oh.
time.
Oh, my goodness. What are some of the biggest changes you've seen in law enforcement, though, both challenging and in positive ways?
Well, I think we could not ignore the technology.
Yeah.
Everything from cell phones, internet, and I often say some policemen don't even need guns anymore. They just need cell phone tracking devices. I mean, that's and ways to do that. That's the wave and the future of law enforcement.
Really?
But you've also got the DNA that you can't ignore.
Mhm.
DNA
Oh, yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there have been some, I'm sure, who've been wrongly convicted because DNA evidence wasn't utilized. You know?
And that's why I hope and pray that law enforcement, that they're doing everything they can before they make that arrest and take that man or woman before a trial, because it is heartbreaking, and not every case has DNA.
Right.
And it just becomes a monumental task at times.
Yeah, but it is a pretty concrete evidence.
It is,
so-
and now with the use of familial DNA,
Yeah.
you know, they're finding fourth, fifth cousins, and that could be related to your suspect, your unknown subject. And then that creates a whole nother type of investigation where you're looking at their genealogy, and that person may live in Seattle, Washington, but who are they related to in Waco, Texas? Now you start taking this thing apart and putting it back together.
Yeah, they
and
can
then
find
you have
that
your profile.
out. Incredible.
It's scary.
Yeah, well, that too. But back to the podcast.
Okay.
Cinco Peso podcast. How did this opportunity come up, and who are kind of the people that you want to feature?
Let me kind of give you my spiel here.
Okay.
I am now working with the Texas Ranger Association Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit, and we are organized to assist the Texas Rangers and their family from everything from scholarships for children to relief in the form of disaster aid. And most recently, there was a fire in one of the Rangers' houses, and we step in and help. We do what we can.
That's great.
And so we raise money for that. But one of the things that they decided recently that they wanted was a podcast. And since I'm working for them and I'm here, I think they said, "Hey, you're the guy." And I'm going,
You're the perfect guy.
It is. Well, thank you. But it is a learning curve doing this kind of work. And I admire you for you're so smooth and you're just like velvet the way you do it. It's a little harder for us laypersons. And what we're doing though, and is going to be unique, and I'm really excited about it, because as every podcast or television show maybe, it starts off as an infant, and then it grows and it changes and it evolves. And I think we have evolved now to where our premise is going to be two old Rangers sitting talking.
Yeah.
About a particular case. This is not being done anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You want to be unique, and that's awesome.
Well, the active Rangers are not allowed to talk to the media.
Right.
So it's going to be us retirees who can sit and talk about one case.
Okay.
And that's what's got me excited, because I get to hear their cases.
Yeah.
When I was a working ranger, I never knew what the other Rangers were doing.
Right. Of course. You were busy doing your own thing.
I thought I was the only guy doing anything, right?
No, there were
other
people working.
Come to find out, they were doing some amazing work out there, and just heartbreaking. And there was a real quick side note. We have a Ranger retired now, and just a great guy and smart man. When he was about 16, his 21-year-old sister was murdered in Houston. She was a telephone operator. She's going to work, and she was murdered on the way to work. Well, he was young at the time, might have been 16, 18. He dedicated his life to law enforcement at that point.
Really?
And about 30 or 35 years later, using DNA, he and the Houston Police Department were able to solve that murder. He was a teenager and then a Texas Ranger, and solved a 30-year-old case of his sister's death. And that's something he promised his parents he would do before they died. Isn't that just amazing?
Oh, what a story.
What a story. The guy was in prison already.
Well,
So,
that's good. At least
Yeah, I mean, he was in prison for something totally different.
But for him to bring that closure,
Yes.
that closure is a real thing.
It
when
is a real thing.
for the victims.
These parents who go through missing children, not ever knowing, it's I don't know how they get through their days.
Right.
It probably changes their whole personality.
Well, in law enforcement, you often see people on the worst day of their lives. How do you prepare yourself and decompress, after some of the things you've seen?
I had one many years ago. This is a little different, but it was a lady down in Moody. Her college-age daughter disappeared. She was going to A&M, just disappeared. And the poor thing, I started helping her with it, and the poor thing would call me on every birthday that the girl had, every Christmas. Have you heard anything? Have you seen anything? And this dragged on for 7 years, Ann, 7 years. And because of keeping her, this victim, we thought she was a victim, because of keeping her and her story in the right places, where, like, the missing persons clearinghouse, and keeping keep pushing it, we found her. And she was alive. Yes. She was in Tennessee, and she was working in a Sam's Club. And she had been living under the radar, and all attempts to find her in any other manner. We got a tip on the tip line that from a person who said, if this was my daughter, I would want her mother to know that she's fine. Now, she may not want to come home.
Yeah, it sounds like she decided to separate herself.
I was able to go down and talk to this mother who was working in schools down in Moody. And man, tough.
That had to have been hard.
It was, because when she saw me in the school that day,
she thought you were going to come with bad
She
news.
fell down to her knees and she said she's dead, and I said, nope, we got her.
But then, processing, why would she do that to her mother?
They quarreled and bickered about things that are just, things that mothers and daughters quarrel and bicker about. Wow. And it was just.
That is heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But the closure part you talked about, to bring it back full circle, is that the mother said, I don't care if she hates my guts, as long as I know she's okay.
No, she's okay.
And she is.
Yeah. So how does it feel different after a lifetime of investigations to be sitting across the table and chatting with another retired Ranger.
It's it's good for me, I think, because it keeps me young. It kind of keeps me in, you know how.
And you're always learning new things.
Every day,
meeting new people.
And
I guess.
I tell you, learning to do broadcasting or without having
whatever
any,
this is.
whatever this is, without having any type of training in it.
You're going to be awesome.
You know that I work with my good friend Jim Peeler. And Jim Peeler talks a different language, I'll tell you. And sometimes I tell him, Peeler, just slow down. I'm dazed and confused here.
Great photog, yes, right. And
yeah,
he's got some stories too.
Yes, he does.
I need to get him.
Yeah.
We need to
good
reminisce
luck.
about some of those days. So to kind of wrap up with, to you, what does the word legacy mean when you think about the Texas Rangers and your work and the stories we're going to get to hear thanks to you and the podcast?
Well, thank you, Ann. The stories, the legacy. I used to tell people that there is nothing like the Texas Rangers in this country.
Yeah.
Some compare it to the Mounties in Canada.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think that's probably, that's a good comparison.
But there's something about the Texas Rangers that people in Texas love. They love the story. They love the bragging rights. They love that we have the oldest law enforcement statewide agency in the country. Mm-hmm. And we name baseball teams after them.
Yeah.
And we have TV shows about them and
That's
movies.
for sure. Walker, Texas
And
Ranger.
who can forget that?
Yeah.
But it is a proud thing that we as Rangers go with, but we take it with a lot of humility because we are just people and we are just working hard. And we're not the smartest people in the world necessarily, but I'll tell you, your Texas Rangers are out there working double hard for you every day.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of time working and missing Little League games and T-ball practice and concerts and that sort of thing.
I know that's true. So how can folks catch your podcast, Cinco Peso podcast?
You'll have to talk to people smarter than I am about that because
the Rogue Media Network, though. You're on the Rogue Media Network. So they're very good about promoting things. So
great.
They'll send things out via social media and
Well, we can only hope to be as to aspire to your greatness, Ann. I'll tell you.
You're going to knock it out of the park. I'm so excited. I'm really delighted to be able to hear some of these stories, though, and I may snag me a few other guests along the way.
Okay, I think
if you'd share with me.
Absolutely, yeah.
Matt, it's a delight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ann,
for spending time with me. Matt Cawthon. Stay with us. There's more of the show ahead, but I will tell you today's show is brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You can transform your home with our premium window, door, and siding installation services. Universal Windows Direct, Central Texas, makes upgrading your home simple and stress-free. Call Universal Windows Direct, Central Texas today. They are located in Woodway. There's more of the show ahead.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Providence. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Allen Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. I said I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
It's our declaration of deals, and savings are moving fast at Allen Samuels Jeep in Waco. Get a 2026 Jeep Wrangler Sport for just $32,990. Or take $10,000 off a 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit. Or qualified buyers can get 0% APR for 36 months and no payments for 90 days. Don't stand still. Drive today. Allen Samuels.
Come by, let's be friends.
It's the 2026 Heart of Texas Builders Association Parade of Homes, brought to you by the First National Bank of Central Texas. Tour a variety of homes at different price points, plus see the latest trends from beautiful kitchens to outdoor living spaces. See the latest colors and design patterns. This is your chance to walk through homes, meet the builders, and get inspiration for your own projects. The Heart of Texas Builders Association Parade of Homes, June 5th, 6th, and 7th, and June 13th and 14th. Tickets are available online or at any parade home. For more information, go to wacohomeparade.com.
Somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Allen Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
This is a Rogue Media Network production.